Hello there guys, so Lee and I are back, and this time it's the elite section of the Eldar Codex. Well, once again, I don't know why I keep starting these videos the same way, but it has to be said, not a huge amount's changed. There are definitely new choices, there are new Exarch powers, and this is the section where you're probably going to spend a lot of your points if you're an Eldar player. And Eldar players out there are probably going to have a lot of these aspect warriors that are in here as well, because they used to be great. I say used to be, because now they've lost a bit of their shine, some of the close combat guys. We'll start with the Howling Banshees. I suppose the biggest thing that has to be said about Howling Banshees is the Banshee mask has changed. It's now -5 to your opponent's initiative, but they don't have any grenades. So if you charge into terrain against somebody, your -5 initiative really doesn't make a huge difference because you're all going last.
There's so many downsides to the Banshees.
Yeah,
I mean,
I wanted them to be great.
6th edition's really, on its own, just appearing out of nowhere, has nerfed the Banshees, because a power sword, a Banshee would be used against Terminators.
Yeah.
Right? But now that a power sword's only AP 3, Banshees can't even do that anymore. There's not much reason to bring them to the board. They're so delicate, and they have to run everywhere. They've even got a rule that gives them +3 inches to their run. So it's implied that's what you're going to be doing with them. But they're just going to die before they do anything.
Yeah, they're all 4-up save. You know, they're all those massed autocannons and stuff that Chaos are going to bring, that the Imperial Guard are going to bring on the cheap, are just going to massacre them wholesale. And as Lee says, they're not going to get the run from cover to cover. They're really not. You think they will, but they won't. You know, because if you start off in cover and try to make your assault, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to spend at least one turn out in the open before you can make your assault. And that's where they're going to die.
And it says here, take a Wave Serpent as a dedicated transport. No assault vehicle on the Wave Serpent makes that pointless. Unless you want to spend all game getting your Banshees into a place where they might be able to do something. That's
it. You could potentially, of course, put a Wave Serpent or something in front of them and try to run behind it down the field. But again, well, it's just you're trying to make a case for a unit that really should have been a lot better than they are. Acrobatic. The bonus to their run should have given them a bonus to their run, and probably in a vulnerable save as well.
A 5+ invulnerable save would have been fine. Big deal changer.
With a 5-up invulnerable save, you would seriously consider playing the unit, but because they don't have one, it's just not. There's no point. Striking Scorpions then. Striking Scorpions we wanted to like as well, but they've changed the mask again.
You used to get +1 attack for a Manta Blaster. They've taken it back several editions to where it's an extra sort of mini shooting attack in melee, but it's only strength 3 and there's no AP on it.
Yeah, it's a terrible shooting attack is what it is. I think even a las pistol I think is better than the Mandy Blaster now.
It used to be.
It's got AP 6 I think on it instead of no AP.
It used to be that because of the sheer number of attacks that a Striking Scorpions unit could throw at an enemy, you would take them anyway because you like them. They're such a nice characterful unit to have. I keep saying that.
No, but they are. I completely agree with you. There's
everything in the Eldar book is.
It's pretty, yeah, it is pretty.
But because they can't do that now, because they're just 1 attack, they need to be 2 attacks. They need to, I mean, they've got 2 close combat weapons, a pistol and a
two close combat weapons. They do come with grenades. What happened to the Banshees? Did they just leave theirs at home?
And they have gained fleet. They didn't have that before.
And but they can still do all their other stuff. They can infiltrate, move through colour. They've got stealth.
That is worth mentioning. The move through cover and the stealth, previously you had to buy that for your Exarch. Now, a lot of the Exarch powers from the last book are built into the rules for the basic trooper, so you don't have to pay. Well, you probably are paying for them somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, but they're 17 points a guy, so slightly more expensive than a Marine.
That's only 1 point though. 1 point, get your Exarch powers built in, but you lose the extra attack. If they kept the extra attack, we'd be so much happier.
Yeah, still though, I mean, they have 3-up save. While they're toughness 3, they're still only strength 3, but their Striking Scorpion Chainsword has +1 strength on it, and an AP of 6. Striking
Scorpions, like a lot in the Eldar army, have a very specific role. Striking Scorpions are good to go against hordes. That strength 3 AP nothing is going to be a pain for an Orc player against his boys. They're going to throw out a lot of low strength attacks, which aren't going to be useful which are going to be useful if your enemy hasn't got an armor save, pretty much.
Yeah.
But against anything else, they're not an all-purpose melee unit anymore. They're very specialised.
Yeah, very specialised anti-horde. But then again, hordes are still popular. 6th edition massed shooting hordes have really come forward, and these guys are great against them. You know, all those orc shooter boys that don't have multi attacks anymore have just, you know, I think they come with 2, don't they? Normally. Well, that's it. Those are the guys to send them against. Fire dragons. Fire dragons haven't changed a great deal, but fire dragons are great.
They've got +1 armor, so they're now 3+
Well,
armor save.
3+. Yeah, so they have. They've got the heavy armor now, haven't they? Yep.
And they've got their battle focus, so they can
Yep.
run and shoot with their melter weapons.
That's it. And they're the guys you want to put into a wave serpent if you can.
Or a falcon.
Or the falcon tank, yep.
Which has got a transport capacity of 6, so you can comfortably get your unit with an Exarch in there, and still have a main battle tank without having to spend points on a transport, which we've already told you about.
Yeah, we've already told you about the transport. Look at the troops video if you want to see what we think of the wave serpent. But yeah, the Exarch powers, fine for fire dragons. Fire dragons, I think, are just one of those standards for the Eldar army that you take because they're your best anti-tank troops, bar none.
A fast shot. I think fast shot's in addition to the fire dragon.
Fast shot. That's an extra shot, isn't it? As well. So it's
I'm not sure if they had that last time. Of course, if you know better, do post a comment. Let us know.
Exactly. Then we go on to Harlequins. Now, I am disappointed and pleased at the same time.
For one of the oldest Eldar units that still survives today.
Yeah, my friend who loves his Eldar and has been an Eldar player for so long and had one of those original Harlequin armies from way back in the White Dwarf days when it was when that was one of the lists, wanted to have Harlequins as a possibility for an army. Again, of course, that's not going to happen. But the Harlequins didn't lose an awful lot.
I don't think they've changed pretty much.
No, not really. I can't. Nothing jumps out at me straight away to say that they've changed.
Battle focus, but then they're pretty much the same as the Dark Eldar. I'd be surprised if they're any different at all from the Dark Eldar entry. Yeah,
so they can buy hallucinogen grenades, which I believe are the defensive as well as offensive grenades, which is pretty good. 30 points though it costs you, because you have to upgrade one of your guys to Shadow Seer, and you're always going to do that.
Harlequins are all about the tag-on rules, the special rules. They've got so many. That's what their thing is. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, you want to buy Harlequin's Kiss for practically all of them, so you get rending attacks, and you want to have the hallucinogen grenades and the Shadow Seer, so that you have this ability to basically not be shot, which allows them to run across the board. I don't know. Other than that, they're good in all the elites sections of close combat guys. They're probably the one you would now go, you know, I think I'll take them because they do an easier job than Howling Banshees. They're not as focused on anti-horde as Striking Scorpions. They can potentially take on the Terminators. They can potentially take on all those heavier infantry guys that are, you know, designed for close combat.
Yeah, I think Harlequins would shine in a game of City Fight if you were going to play different versions of 40k. Harlequins with the ability to move through cover, Striking Scorpions as well. That would be their element. But where you're playing on an open battlefield, pretty much with just a few trees, maybe a wall here or there. Again, they're like the Banshees. They're going to suffer because they need to get to you. I don't think they don't have a dedicated transport option.
No, they used to have. Didn't they used to have a wave serpent that they could take?
I'm not sure. Let us know.
I'm nearly sure. I know definitely that I've played against Harlequins that were in a wave serpent. Now, whether they got into somebody else's,
a brightly coloured wave serpent.
It was painted. It was very nice. Actually, it was painted in diamonds. But I don't. Yeah, tell us if that's the case. Okay, let's get down to the meat then. The brand new plastic kits.
The one that everyone has been waiting for forever.
Yeah, and that's the Wraithguard. I suppose we'll do Wraithguard and Wraithblades together because they're the same points. They're 32 points each. They have the same stats. They're strength 6, strength 5, toughness 6, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, leadership 10, 3 up save. The Wraithguard are the sort of ranged version, so they can have they come with the Wraith Cannon.
Yes.
When they can change it for the D Scythe.
The D Scythe is quite an interesting weapon.
It is. It's
a template now. Strength 4, AP, AP 1 or 2. I'm going to check because people did notice in the introduction video we did. We made a tiny mistake, but then we hadn't read the book for very long. D-Scythe, you carry on, I'll find it for you.
Yeah, well, the Wraithguard then, they can of course swap out their Wraith Cannon for their D-Scythe, 10 points each, that puts them up to 42 points a man. That's starting to get expensive, but toughness 6, not so bad.
It's AP2. The
AP2.
D-Scythe is AP2, and it's a distort weapon.
What's the range on it? 12.
12 again.
That's painful.
They really needed 2 wounds, is what I'm thinking. They've got that toughness. To be more survivable, they needed 2 wounds.
Do you know? I would vastly have preferred if they'd had a less powerful weapon that had a better range. Because the Wraithguard are basically walking. You can give them a Wave Serpent, but they're bulky, so only 5 of them are going to get into it, 6 at the most.
And now they don't have their Warlock to accompany them, to give them Conceal, which would give them a 5+.
Yeah, they're walking.
Or any other kind of, because I would use Enhance again, just in case they got into combat, which with the Wraithblades would have been useful.
Yeah, it would be. The Wraithblade comes with 2 Ghost Swords, which are basically power swords. And they can change the Ghost Sword for a Ghost Axe and a Force Shield, which gives them an invulnerable save and basically a power axe, so AP2.
4+ invulnerable save.
4 up invulnerable save, so they're 3 up, 4 up. That's pretty good for their points, because they're still coming in at less than a Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminator. They're hitting with Strength 6 with their Ghost Axe, and they've Toughness 6 with 4 up invulnerable save. I mean, that's the Axe Shield Wraithblades look really good, but again, they suffer from that one problem. They're gonna have to walk wherever you want them to go. If you've made them troops, of course, they can take an objective, which is pretty good.
Although they will walk. There's none of this roll of 1 and they'll just stand there wondering where they are.
That's gone. Yeah, that's gone. Actually, we should have said that first up, shouldn't we? That yeah, they're not stupid anymore. They're they actually do what they're supposed to do now. But they're definitely a unit that needs to be played now so that we can see how good they are. I mean, neither one of us have played Wraithblades yet to see if they actually do what I think they're going to do. I personally wouldn't be taking them anywhere. I would use them to protect my side of the board.
I wonder
from
though,
Deep Strikers and you know, all those sorts of guys.
I wonder though that the people who would take a lot of Wraithguard and a lot of Wraithblades would bother using this book if they wouldn't wait for the supplement and see what sort of Wraith army options they're going to get.
Well, potentially, but I mean, with the Spirits here though, you can have what is effectively a Wraith army in this book now. So
you can make pretty much any themed Craftworld army using the units in this book.
Yeah. There is nothing to stop you. So guys, yeah, Wraithguard, Wraithblades, both seem reasonably good. They've got everything there that should make them good. But I've just got that feeling that because they have to walk everywhere, they're still gonna suffer from battle tank shots. They're still gonna suffer from all those big blast shots. The brand new shiny Riptide is going to launch blasts at them, and it's going to remove cover saves and all that sort of stuff. Put them in that 4-up save.
How will it perform with the rest of the army all working together? And it's a slow unit in a fast army.
Yeah.
It's the odd one out straight away.
Yeah, that's what I see as their problem.
If you're going to
because they can buy a Wave Serpent, but the Wave Serpent I don't think is their transport. You probably want to put them, if you could put them in a Falcon, it would be fine, but you can't get them in a Falcon. So
if you were going to use them, you need to really build your army around them. You can't just tag them on as an afterthought just because you like them.
Yeah, of course. One potential, of course, is that you can put them in a Wave Serpent and drive the Wave Serpent as fast as you possibly can forward, hoping that it's going to explode, so that they all get out of it.
Well, there is a piece of vehicle war gear now where you can move flat out and fire a weapon, and because you've got the twin-linked turret on the Wave Serpent, that is a viable tactic.
Yeah, there you go. Okay guys, so that's the Elite section. Tell us what you think. Drop some comments below. If you've got ideas about how the Wraithguard should be used, how the Wraithblades should be used, then we want to hear about it. So drop some comments below, tell us about the Elite Eldar, and we'll go and have a look at the rest of the book.